in some labs in Germany, they started to develop chemicals with only one objective: killing efficiently. And the chemicals that were used in the concentration camps and the chemicals that were used in the war, the poison gases and the nerve gases, really became precursors of industrial farming. For me, Silent Spring has always been a deep inspiration. And between Silent Spring and Albert Howard's Agricultural Testament, I think those two books tell you both of the harm that's been done by an agriculture that came from war, as well as the possibilities of a non-violent relationship with the earth. Rachel Carson writes, in the course of developing agents of chemical warfare, some of the chemicals created in the lab were found to be lethal to insects. Some of them became deadly nerve gases, and others of closely allied structures became the insecticides. So basically, what is called industrial farming is a continuation of war, because the tools that are used come from war. Even what seems to be quite harmless, the chemical fertilizers, came from war industry. The same labs that made ammunition, the same factories that made ammunitions and bombs, were used to make nitrogen fertilizer. And the slogan was bread from air. That we are creating bread from air. No, all that was happening is fossil fuels were being used, huge amounts, in order to blast the fossil fuels at very high temperature and very inefficiently do what our nitrogen-fixing pulses do non-violently. So it takes the equivalent of 2 liters of diesel to make 1 kilogram of nitrogen fertilizer. And the energy needed to manufacture the fertilizers we're using in 2000 was 191 billion liters of diesel, and is expected to rise to 277 billion by 2030. So it wasn't bread from air, it was a fossil agriculture, and an agriculture based on war chemicals. And if you just look at what have these nitrogen fertilizers done, the first thing is they demand huge amounts of water. If you talk to farmers, they'll say they kill the soil, they burn the soil, and the only way to keep the soil going is to apply more and more irrigation. When I did my book on the violence of the Green Revolution, I found it was 10 times more water to produce the same amount of food, which is a reason wherever industrial farming has been spread, water conflicts have grown, because the demands for water become 10 times more than the sustenance capacity of that ecosystem.